It's been almost exactly a year since I shared my last 4Runner build, so I thought it was time for an update. So of you that are new here, my name is Tim. I'm a photographer based out in Washington. I spend a lot of my time exploring, capturing photos, and camping in some incredible spots. I actually lived out my 4Runner for about 6 months. I built it out to be fully functional for all my adventures. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the updates I made and share how it's evolved to fit my needs. So to start things off, this is a 2019 Toyota 4Runner. This is the TRD Off-Road Premium trim. Let's start with the exterior and then work our way around and then go into the interior of the vehicle. For the exterior, lighting is still the same. I'm still rocking the Baja Design Squadron R for both the fogs and ditch lights. The fogs are amber and then the ditch lights are clear. They've both been pretty solid for me. As for functionality goes, having amber fogs to cut through, the fogs is really nice. And then I chose the clear for the ditch lights just to see how it would do. It was just a preference. The biggest update, I guess, for the front end of the 4Runner are these headlights. So I went with the Carbide GTR headlights. I'd say they make a massive difference. One of the biggest complaints that I have about the 4Runner has always been how dim the stock lights are, especially when you're out on the trails. And they look great too. Feature a pretty unique daytime running light. They have sequential turn signals and it's got a OEM fit. Plus it didn't really break the bank. I think I picked these up for around $600 excluding shipping and tax. They're definitely cheaper than the Morimotos and I think they look just as good. But yeah, let's move on to the side of the 4Runner and I'll show you some of the updates on there. These are the RCI rock sliders. They're from my previous build. They serve its purpose and their function. But anyways, let's talk about the awning. So I spent a lot of time shopping around for the right one. And originally I wanted a 270 awning, but 270 awnings don't really fit the 4Runner. So I ultimately went with the 180. And after weighing my options, I went with the Tsuruga awning. Price and area coverage really sold me on it. Plus it's got a ratchet system and then I tighten it, and setting it up and deploying it, putting it back away couldn't be any easier. So if I swing this around, I normally just hook it on to right there. I normally, like I said, connect it to my rack, but you can connect it to pretty much wherever. And then you just pull this and it ratchets, just give it another tug. Another feature I really like about the awning is that it's got built-in lights. The awning comes with a harness that you can plug into a 12-volt battery and each light can be controlled independently. They even let you adjust the color temperature, which is really nice. So the one thing I don't like about this awning are the zippers. They're just really small. So at a time like this when it's really cold outside or if it's wet outside, grabbing and holding on to these zippers can be pretty frustrating, especially when you're trying to put this away and zip it all back up. The zippers could definitely be easier to grab. The good news is that Tsuruga actually makes a newer version of this awning and they solved that problem. They also added a ton of new features on the awning as well. Overall though, I love this awning. It's waterproof, UV 50 plus rated, and as far as I know, it's the only awning that is double plated. So the back plate gets mounted to the whatever bracket you have, and then the front plate is where the awning arms come out. Having a design like that just makes it really sturdy. By definition, for what Tsuruga said, this is a legit freestanding awning. You don't need the legs or anything at all when you deploy these. But they do include it just in case if it's really, really windy outside, you can always deploy the legs. So on the other side of the 4Runner, I have a 4-gallon, it's basically a 4-gallon water tank. This is the water port and it's mounted to the Rago Fabrication Molly panel. I only use this to do dishes or when I'm cleaning anything. It's super good for that. It's pressurized. I also have a manual hand pump here just in case I'm too lazy to pressurize it myself, but does exactly what I need to. It carries water. It pressurizes the water and yeah, it's great to have. It's convenient when you want to do some dishes or clean some things. You can use this for drinking water too. I just don't do it. You can also use it to shower and whatnot. Like I said, I don't really shower outside. All right, so let's talk about wheels, tires, and suspension. I'm running the Raptor wheels from SSW. These are the matte bronze. They're a -12 offset, so they do kick out a little bit. And they're wrapped in a 285/70/17 Falcon Wild Peaks AT3s. They've been solid for every terrain that I'm on. I mean, snow, rain, they've been great. They've been great for it. I don't really slip in these. I've always rubbed with these tires, but with the -12 offset on the Raptor wheels, I rubbed significantly more, so I did a body mount chop as well. For suspension, I am using the Old Man Emo Nitrocharger kit. It's a 3-inch in the rear and then 2.75 in the front. They've been great for handling everything. They're a little stiff, but overall, Old Man Emo is a pretty good quality product. If I had the budget, I think I might have gone with a higher end like the BP51s. Honestly, I mainly upgraded the suspensions because the stock springs weren't cutting it with all the gear that I added, and these suspensions have done the job really well so far. Okay, so moving to the rear of the 4Runner, this is the rigged Ultra Swing with the Ultra table, and then I also have the side hack accessory with it. I really like this setup because it's not a full bumper replacement. I can take the swing off and on as I need. The Ultra Swing table, I think, is a game changer for me particularly because I like to cook, and having a table so close to everything and it being really sturdy, and it comes with the cutting board table as well, is really convenient to have. The side hack actually adds a lot more versatility to this. I'm able to add a propane tank, which is something that I've always wanted. Saves a lot more space on the inside, so I don't have to carry all those like green Coleman propane tanks. And of course, I mount a tire to it, which is the main reason of having a swing out, is to mount a tire. If you didn't want to mount a propane tank or anything to this, you can actually use the side hack to mount like high lift jacks, roto packs, stuff like that. So it's pretty versatile if you wanted to mount any other things to it. But for me, it's the propane tank that I really wanted to use. Behind all of this is a Westcott design ladder. It's solid and sturdy, and I actually use this to access my rooftop tent, which we'll get to in a little bit. And I think one thing that people never ever mention about hatch ladders, when you add one, especially to 4Runners, you would need to upgrade the struts that come with this. With the stock struts that come with the 4Runner, it does not lift up, especially with the added weight of having something like a ladder. Just a heads up, I don't know if anybody has ever mentioned that, but you do need to upgrade these struts, and they're not super expensive. I think I paid like 50 bucks for these. You do need to upgrade those. At least you do for the Westcott design ladder. So unfortunately my mic ran out of storage, so I'm gonna do everything in post. So for the taillights, I'm running the stealth taillights from 4Runner Lifestyle. I've got mixed feelings about them. When they're on, they look awesome, but the startup sequence, in my opinion, is a little too long. I only picked them up because I happened to be at the 4Runner Lifestyle warehouse, and coincidentally my taillights broke during a trip near Bend, Oregon. But outside the startup sequence though, they look like how the 5th gen 4Runner should have came in. They're actually really easy to install. In fact, when I was at 4Runner Lifestyle's warehouse and when I picked them up, I installed these taillights right in their parking lot, and they're really cool about actually disposing my old ones. Probably the most asked question I get is about my rooftop tent, and this is the 4x4 Colorado Nimbus, and it's currently mounted to the Prinsu roof rack. I absolutely love this tent. It's actually where I slept in during the 6 months that I lived out my 4Runner, so I got really familiar with this tent. I actually made a video a while back going through the pros and cons, but here's the short version of it. The downside are that the hinges sit on the inside, so when you close the tent, it pushes the fabric out, so you're gonna have to fight the tent when you're closing it. That's pretty much the only cons that I have. I really like the design. I really like that the toe box out here opens up, so you get a lot more room on the inside. So I have an older model of the Nimbus. The new ones doesn't actually come with this little skylight window here. And I actually went over to 4x4 Colorado and I asked them about it. They said they would love to bring this back, but in hotter weather like in Texas or something, this skylight window would burn off or it would just start to yellow. And even mine is starting to yellow, and I've had this for like I think a year now. So I get why they wouldn't want to bring this back. One major upgrade I made was swapping the stock mattress for the Cloud Comfort mattress. I originally considered getting the Hess mattress, but with the Cloud Comfort, I can compress the air out, which creates a lot extra space for bedding inside the tent. It's super comfortable since it combines air and foam, so I haven't felt the need to look elsewhere. Another feature I love about the tent is the double channel design. It allows me to mount my awning directly to it. I've also got a storage box on top of the tent. It's just a simple one from Harbor Freight that holds some of my gear. I'll dive into what's inside the box a little later. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have some issues with my tent rattling and it just rubbing against my roof rack. To fix that, I installed the tent riser mount from 4x4 Colorado. It's a great solution because it raises the tent just enough to eliminate the issue without lifting it too high. Unlike the Prinsu or the Calories riser, which raises the tent by 1/4 to 1 inch, this one keeps it nice and low while still addressing the problem. Okay, let's move inside the 4Runner, starting with the floor mats. These are the last fit mats and I've been really impressed with them so far. They fit the 4Runner perfectly, including the back of the rear seats. This is super handy for me since I usually have the rear seats folded down. Here are some highlights about the mats. Last Fit uses a 3D scanning technology to ensure the mats fit edge to edge, capturing every corner and crevice. They're made of environmental friendly TPE materials that are free of allergens, BPA, PVC, and other harmful substances. They're custom designed channels and raised edge traps liquid, mud, rain, snow, keeping your interiors and shoes clean. Speaking of cleaning, it's pretty simple. Just remove the mats, hose them down, and dry them off with a cloth. I also have a discounted code for these mats, so if you guys are interested, check the link in the description below. For my devices, I use 2 mounts from 67 Design. One is a mag mount for my phone, and then the other one is for my iPad. I like running both. My iPad is usually set up with my destination like campsites or hiking trails, while my phone stays free for quick tasks like finding gas stations or grocery stores and stuff. When I moved into my 4Runner, I wanted a desk setup for working on the road. I found a desk stand that attaches to the 2 bolts at the base of the passenger seat. It works like a school desk, giving me a convenient spot to work from. Now, when I installed my rigged Ultra Swing, I lost functionality of the factory backup camera. Plus, living in my 4Runner, I wanted to add some extra security. So I installed the Wolfbox G900 Pro. It's a rear view mirror attachment with a built-in dash cam and a backup camera that I mounted to the ladder. It shoots 4K, and it's been a fantastic solution for both safety and visibility. In the rear, I've added 2 interior MOLLE panels. These are budget-friendly ones I found on Amazon, and while they're not as sturdy as the Rago Fabrication panels that I have on the exterior, they're more than half the price, and I think I got them for around $150. They're a bit flimsy, but they get the job done, and I use them to mount my Starlink cables and EcoFlow alternator charger. Speaking of EcoFlow, I used their alternator charger, which has been a great alternative to a dual battery system. It cost me around $400 and it's been a lifesaver to power my laptop, camera, drone, fridge, and even electric blanket. It's one of the most useful upgrades I've made, especially when I was living out my 4Runner full time. To power everything, I use the EcoFlow Delta 2, which is a super simple and reliable power solution when I'm on the road. It's a 1 kilowatt power station with all the USB, AC, and DC ports that I need for my setup. Now let's talk about some miscellaneous gears that I carry. First, I got the Starlink Mini with the unlimited data plan. However, over the past couple of months, I've realized that I don't use quite as much data as I thought I would. I've been averaging around 70 to 140 gigs per month. So the $50 plan plus the $1 per gigabyte overage charge would actually save me money compared to the $160 unlimited plan. If you're considering Starlink, I recommend starting with the smaller plan and adjusting as needed. Sometimes it's more convenient for me to sleep inside the 4Runner, especially when I'm stealth camping or staying at rest stops, as I'm not always at a campsite. For that, I use the Hess foamy mattress, which fits perfectly inside. Honestly, it's one of the most comfortable mattresses that I own, and even better than my home setups. It's pricey but comfortable, and the features are worth it. It's temperature resilient, meaning it won't freeze up in the cold and it stays cool when it's hot outside. If you're considering a mattress for car camping or just camping in general, I highly recommend the Hess mattress. Behind the front seats, I have 2 IKEA boxes for extra storage. One is for my clothes and the other one holds miscellaneous gear like camping tables, oversized pots, and my tech pouch and toiletry bag. These boxes sit on top of a custom bed platform that connects to the drawer system, which we'll get to in a second. It not only gives me a comfortable place to sleep, but it also adds some of the cubby style storage spaces. In the cubbies, I have some of my essentials like a camping chair that fits perfectly right behind the seat. I have shoes, hiking boots, and Go treads, which are a great alternative to the traditional boards like MaxTrax. They're compact, easy to use as leveling blocks or traction boards. They fit perfectly in the storage space. Plus, this whole bed platform removes, so if I ever do need my back seat again, it's a quick swap. Okay, so let's dive into the drawer system. I'll start with the left side and then work my way around. First up is a 6-gallon water jug that I picked up from Cabela's. It's affordable and it gets the job done as my main drinking water supply. Next to that is my Iceco APL35 fridge, which is a dual zone unit. One side can be a freezer and the other side can be a fridge, or you can configure both sections however you like. The larger section can be a freezer and the smaller can be a fridge. What's even better is that you can control this via an app. This has been especially useful when I'm driving on bumpy roads because the fridge sometimes disconnects itself and I might not notice until I get to camp. Having the app allows me to check up on it and make adjustments while I'm on the move. I made a video about the pros and cons on this fridge and my overall thoughts, so if you want to check that out, I'll link it above. Iceco also provided a discount code, which I've linked in the description as well if you guys are interested. As for the drawer system in itself, it's part of my previous build and it hasn't changed. It's from Solid Woodworks. It's an excellent budget-friendly solution. The best part about this is that I built it out myself using the plan. It's a fun little DIY project and gives me exactly what I needed. On the left side of the drawer, I carry the iCamper Disco series. This setup makes cooking for a big group super easy and it's fun when you're out camping. The burner is also portable and can be used independently out of the disc. It's a nice feature. It comes with legs and everything. I also bring along a Coleman 2-burner stove as well as a backup, and as of recently I've been using it a lot more lately. On the right hand side, I keep all my other kitchen essentials. This section is divided into 3 parts. The top section holds my portable sink and a bunch of Tupperware. The middle section is where all my seasoning, bowls, plates, and sauces go. The closest section to me contains the items I use most frequently, like my coffee setup, jet boil, my coffee grinder, spoons, forks, and all that stuff. This organization makes it super easy for me to grab whatever I need without digging around, especially when I'm setting up for a quick meal or a coffee break. Alright, so that wraps it up for my updated 4Runner build. I hope you guys find this helpful, whether you guys are looking for ideas for your own rig or just curious about the setup that keeps me comfortable on the road. This 4Runner has been my home, it's been my office, and it's also my daily driver for years now, and so I've been really dialed in for it to fit my lifestyle, whether I'm out chasing photos or camping off grids or just taking scenic routes and stuff. If you guys got any questions about the gear that I mentioned, or you guys just want to share your own setup, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what works for you guys or what's a creative solution that you guys come up with your builds. And as always, all the links and discounts and stuff for my gear I've talked about are in the description if you guys are interested. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. It truly means a lot. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I plan on doing a winter camping trip, so stay tuned for that.